Welcome to the Blockchain Blueprint. I am joined today by Mr. Jackman, Nicholas Jackman of Bloxlive TV, who is the head of basically the world's first news channel devoted to blockchain, crypto, and DLT. And I'm happy to say he's here with me today on this Zoom call since we're still at the time of recording under lockdown. So thank you for your time today.
Oh, good. You know, as we go along the journey, a lot of crypto projects, etc., they started off and that was their tagline. We're the world's first person to decentralize this, to access the liquidity of X market. The first. As we've made the journey around the world and constantly discovering other organizations kind of try to attempt to make this blockchain television. Some people see potential for it to happen. A lot of people thought they were first, but there were other people there. And a lot have fallen, including one of the larger ones in the last 2 weeks. But Bloxlive.tv survives, and now we're going into a point where we're thriving. A bull market can save us all.
Maybe can. Maybe that's a silver lining we all need.
I don't know. Personally, I'm looking at those numbers. You know, I don't want Bitcoin to go up. No one wants Bitcoin to go up when they don't have enough. You know, I know that you're a spender of BTC. You're one of the people in the adoption. I also spend the BTC that comes in. I use it to pay video producers around the world, and it's a shame because you know it's going to go up, but also, isn't it nice not to be worried about it crashing 95%?
Absolutely.
So get it and get rid of it. Don't stack those sats. In and out quickly. Use the fact that it provides 24/7 liquidity anywhere and everywhere, which was kind of proven during the last crash. Although unfortunately people were getting out as opposed to getting in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Having said that, there is a place I feel for hodling as well, and I do a little bit of that, just not with Bitcoin. But that's me personally. I don't give financial advice, viewers.
Sure, I do all the time. I try to masquerade as financial advice, but generally it's just a collection of things that I've heard along the way, regurgitated in nice little 30-second snippets, and then of course,
yeah,
I watch every piece of content that my partners make, and we approve for the channel, and yeah, that's me. Just kind of learn from the people who are around me, the content creators like yourself, Yusuf, who we partner with in order to try to bring the world a TV channel that's watchable. You know, we can have 16 hours of coding. You know, we ran a live conference yesterday for Malta for the Chile's blockchain tower of the NVIA, and everyone were coming in. We have big announcements, and then we go into a half-an-hour presentation on code, and it's not for everyone. You know, there are places on Bloxlive TV site you can go to get your coding information, but in general, that's not the information that's going to hit those eyes of people who are not wise to what blockchain is, and it's not going to inspire them and bring them on board. So there's other people who are producing content which is more with a mass audience in mind, and those are kind of the people I'm trying to chase down. Magical crypto friends, these guys who devise a show exactly for that purpose, and I'm trying to go global with everyone together as a pool of the full package. So that's Bloxlive TV.
So, like, to begin this, right off the bat, we're touching on the subject of Bloxlive. Tell me, where did the concept come from to start this off to begin with?
Well, this is not my company. 8 months ago, I was brought in. I came in as a presenter for the live show they were running in Marsa, in the middle of Malta, the most expensive studio in the country, big fancy live production. And I think they'd come to the point after a year, and they had you know done very well virally, but a lot of it's very hard in order to, you know, who really makes money in blockchain. It's the question. It's the owners of the currency. But to get your hands on the currency, you have to prove. And those years where Bloxlive had begun, it wasn't a bull market. The ICOs had become a dirty word. So they, you know, if the inception of the channel was in part to be able to access income, because that's where a lot of the income that was supporting most of the crypto websites was coming from, was from you. We know we can spend 3K, 5K with you, get X amount of clicks, X amount of investment into our ICO. That was what was fueling the hype, the parabolia in the past. And that wasn't here at the tail end of 2017, 2018, 2019. And when Bloxlive came in 2018, it was a different time than maybe when the concept was created of getting in. But, you know, crypto, it's cycle based, it's cyclical. And we're looking at, you know, charts. Maybe this is part of the new Elliott wave, and it could be part one in the Elliott wave pattern could be about to kick in. That's what it looks like, certainly at the moment. Although according to Tone Bays in the channel this morning, this may be airing just after it's coming. Hopefully you're not looking at a complete crash in line with the S&P, which is due to crash this week. We'll see just how correlated those assets are. On the 6th of the month, I think we're looking at that danger zone, 57% drop in the S&P 500. Which we'll see now next time it happens, how that correlates with Bitcoin, whether Bitcoin is a little bit more resilient, whether money flows into BTC as opposed to people looking for that as the outlet to get out of markets.
So let's talk about your programming. What's a typical sort of program you'd expect to find on Bloxlive? Does it have to be crypto related necessarily, specifically, or there can be blockchainers or DLT, or do you, you know,
as a natural,
is it quite rigid? I guess what I'm trying to get at.
Well, let's look at one relationship and we see how the channel and content evolves. So I'm with Nuggets News, or Nuggets News are with me, moreover, in Australia. Powerful outfit, and 7 people employed in their productions, and they cover the indices as well. And when obviously they're devoted, they're big tech gurus, and 50% of their content is blockchain. But I do take other aspects of their content on board. InvestDiva, she had a crypto-based channel for some time. She moved out of the crypto-based channel, but she stayed with Bloxlive. So at the moment, we're in the stock business with her. Tone Bays is a stocks man. I just took on this week Chu. He's like 7 years a big Forbes trader in all assets. You know, if you're learning how to trade and invest, the same technical analysis tools apply to every type of financial instrument, not just the new digital assets that have been created. And they cross over. You know, if there's a better trade at the time, you know, if we're looking at a low volatility time in ETH or in other, or if there's certainty one way, that's where if a day trader should be spending their money that day, or should be risking their money wherever the opportunity is. Crypto in many ways is far more accessible for traders who initially traded stocks. So they went into crypto. A lot of people got involved in trading because of crypto and end up in stocks as well. And the crossover is right there. I'm looking at, because, you know, I am trying to expand the reach. Within an hour, we're looking at about 40% Bitcoin maximalist content, about 40% everything else in the crypto space, and maybe InvestDiva comes in with a stock tip, things like that. A lot of blockchain comedy, try to mix it up so that if I am lucky enough, when we're lucky enough and being on mainstream sites, when those eyeballs see what's on screen and it is crypto related, it's going to be something that's going to catch their eye and not something that's going to turn them off. It's not generally, yes, of course, because we're dealing with incredibly complex technologies. We're looking at 10 years of development on blockchain and what's available, and we're getting into high concept stuff, but that can't show all the time. You can't have 24/7 high concept and expect to be popular. So the idea is to kind of meld everything together, to give a little bit high and then a little bubble with the latest parody song on cryptocurrency holding his bangs.
Yeah. And what would you say is your demographic in terms of viewership? Do you feel you want to target certain people, or do you want to bring new people in without fear of them getting too, bogged down by terminology?
Look, you could go and you could try to hit the perfect angle, and if you think, okay, but you also got to think of where the money is too, So, I've just brought in a new advertiser, and they're in the crypto cannabis crossover crowdfunding for growers through BTC. My demographic in that end, and I'm finding as I'm talking to my influencers, I'm finding that a lot of them are turned on to they're freedom fighters, and blockchain and cannabis in many ways, they go hand in hand in terms of the fight for freedom and for legalization. And finding a lot of the influencers are very pro the cannabis and want to work with that company, for instance. The demographic, I mean, I could bang out a rake of memes for with Game of Thrones and cryptocurrency, and I'd probably have the perfect crossover because, if you look at a blockchain, we all wear glasses, we're geeks, no?
Me included.
Yes, but probably one of the surprising stats, and I tweeted this out last week, 22% of my audience is female. Which and I talked with Jessica with the IBC Summit, and she's shown that their numbers in terms of their captive audience, they're, I think, 6.8% female. So, I mean, I believe that is because I do have a lot of female talent are producing and distributing through the channel. I mean, these people, they're working for themselves. I mean, some of them use different platforms for getting themselves out there other than me, in addition to the typical ones. But yeah, I've got great girls who are inspiring, doing great interviews, bringing other females in who want to watch girls doing it for themselves.
Great. And let's talk about the developments of the last 24 hours. We touched on this in the as an intro, if you like, of like the latest bull run of Bitcoin. We just touched under $9,000. Now, do you think this is the catalyst to make it go even higher, or do you think this is just another bull trap to shake off weak hands?
2 months ago, I tethered at 9.2, and I bought back about 10 hours too early, and I put my tether into my Otis at 14, and I could have had the opportunity to buy them for 6. I could have bought Ethereum for 87. Could have got Bitcoin for 3.8, and look at it, it's double that today. The bounds is it's the mathematics say 10-4 come to halving. It should be 10-4 on the day to halving. That's what the maths show. I have a man in Serbia. He's a legendary calculator, and he verified the numbers by checking everything himself as to what's out there in terms of the math. All the Bitcoin maximalists who stare me in the face, it's mathematics. This is where it's going to be. It cycles. It follows. This is math is fact. Code is law. And to be honest, even all of the people who I respect and I trust them completely, and I base my creative decisions based upon their advice, and they're all telling me, Nicholas, people are putting money into crypto now as a safe haven and to protect their money. People are doing that because they're afraid of the other assets who are obviously and have been, they're completely overvalued and have been for a long time. All the leading assets, the leading stocks, the top 5 market cap companies in the S&P 500 today, they are all hyper. They're all very much inflated market caps. And with Bitcoin has showed upside before of 20, but then it looks like a safe game. Now, Bitcoin topped out at 13.8. However, I was still running we were still doing the crypto live show from the big studios out in Marsa. And then people said Bitcoin just wasn't ready to go any higher. Like Kevin Merku said it on the day from CoinMetro. And at the time, because Libra was in the air, Libra was the catalyst for the last bull that we experienced when it went through. You know, we saw all stages of the market cycle. You know, we peaked and then we had our three Elliott waves on the three corrective Elliott waves. And we've been looking for, in terms of price, in order to lock into a rhythm again, that 13.7 was based on euphoria. That 13.7 was based on a name that people trusted all around the world entering into the crypto space with this new digital asset, with Facebook coin, everyone would call Libra. That euphoria does not exist right now. That money was coming in because people saw that crypto was going mainstream, but then it didn't. And maybe at 8, that's the price point of Bitcoin based upon what it went up to after the Libra hype. I don't see a million reasons why Bitcoin should be 13.7 without that hype. I do see, or I do feel, and I trust a lot of the experts who say that people will start to accumulate it like gold. You know, and I myself, although sometimes I'm terrified I'm terrified of crypto. I love trading, but it's too emotional. You know, when you can trade just 1.5% of the time, I'd spend too much time trading, and I get addicted to it, and I wouldn't run my television channel or the television channel for my bosses. If I get too into it, it can happen. You can lose your days because it's so exciting. There's a new opportunity around every corner. But just because the math is saying so, I mean, facts are, it's crippling. The halvening's coming in, and it's going to cripple those people who are providing the hash power. A lot of them are going to have to get out of the game again. It's going to be Bitcoin mining is going to become even less decentralized as a result of this happening. Now that things have gotten to this peak. What I want to tell you is that I've had a dream. I've had a dream for a very long time, and we've all had crypto dreams. My friend comes to me in Juicy Fields, and he goes, "Nicholas, I had a dream last night. My boss put 100 Bitcoin in my account, you know, and then I got a phone call from them, and I go, who's this? He wasn't going to send it back, you know. But my dream showed Bitcoin absolutely crashing to next to nothing. Not the 3-2 bottom of last year, crashing to next to nothing and then going
zero.
Because there's no way. Like I'm going to be doing a conference for COVID in Africa next week, okay? And how, in God's name, can this be? I mean, you're trying to be out there. You're out there as an early adopter, you're using it as a payment method, yeah? But how, yes, in God's name? Okay, so it is just too expensive to be a currency of the people when half the people, 1 billion people in the world only make $1 or $2 a day. It can only be a currency for the people if some of those people are able to collect it at a bit of it at some kind of price, that's something tangible that they can hold on to, and that so it can spread, you know. So it's got to be more affordable. I just see a point. The real Powerball, these 288,000 figures that are bounded out by 3 of my content partners today, all on the same piece of data. It's a big exciting number. You know, yeah, it may well happen, Joseph. It may well happen, but it's not good for Bitcoin. It's not good for the people. It's not good for the future. If that Bitcoin that's been held in those small amount of wallets is not dispersed, I sent out a video last week. I'm pleading with the whales. Come on, guys. It's you got to feed the market. You have to redistribute that sometime, you know. And I'm trying to scare them. I'm trying to tell them that no, your halving dream is not coming true. We're all going to be shorting. We're all going to be shorting. Not going long. So we'll see. Sorry.
Yeah, time will tell. But I would love to know what your thoughts are on something like XRP, for instance, where, you know, it changes the way that people can, you know, in terms of faster transactions between different currencies. And then you have stable coins such as, you know, Tether and so on and so forth. Do you think that helps in terms of what they do as opposed to what Bitcoin does?
It's like it's just that opportunity risk, you know. Most trading occurs back into Tether, you know, and it's just like it's a system that could potentially collapse at any moment, and you're holding it, you know. I mean, I trust. I sent off my USDT and I paid off an invoice for some really good explainer video, and it felt nice. Okay, I'm sending off an ERC20, and this is easy. This is easy. What do I like about it? I like about it because they requested it. It's as their preferred method, and it just made sense to use it. Because on the other side, I produced an expensive shoot for an exchange, and they put through the invoice. Things were done right. Banks incommunicada for 14, 15 days. Their money, they weren't allowed access to their money because of financial institution. And can XRP solve that? Can Tether solve that? Yes. So I like them.
Great. But do you also think that, because you made a really great point about Libra, do you think something like that's needed in terms of mass adoption? Because if you have someone like Facebook saying, hey, look, we've launched this cryptocurrency, you know, it makes it easier for people as a gateway point to get in. Your thoughts?
All right. Well, that's all about hype and the gateways for people to get in. But one thing that Libra has done is there's a Libra Foundation in place of people who were developing technology with budget, with the testing, with with all new standards. They are, I mean, I'm a bit biased now because I'm working with these guys, but the technology that's come out of it, that's probably what's going to happen next in terms of safe decentralized dexes. This could be interesting when, you know, without the DeFi threats that were faced with like previously with our 24 million hack 2 weeks ago. These were Libra, because of the technology that it is. I won't go into specifics. I'll leave that to the blockchain blueprint man to go down deep. But these are no longer threats with the new Libra technology, because, you know, if you have a name like that, you can't go in with bugs.
Do you also, right now in the blockchain space, and this could go for both my channel and your channel respectively, do you think that there's a voice right now where people aren't simplifying blockchain enough? Because people want to get in, but it's kind of looking in as if it's a gated community of developers who can't really speak, not in a patronizing way, but in a way that's easy to understand.
Look, you know, I took in an intern back from a writing company about a summer and a half ago, and now she works with Bloxlive, and she's got that. You know, she goes. We taught her. She's studying herself. She's learned her own stuff, but also we taught her over the last year and a half, and she's got that beauty and brains and the ability to perform really good, accurate analysis. And so I've given her carte blanche with direction, take the TikTok trends, all the dances, and you deliver your TA to all those popular dances. And now she's doing it, you know, like we're all trying to break through with something new. Tone Vase is running poker, crypto poker conferences. I'm sitting at my own table. I had planned until COVID came in, I was going to do crypto poker live trading. Just anything to try to, you know, this is interesting. It's not just guys standing on a stage. It's not just businessmen slapping each other on the back. You know, because most of the promo out there is terrible. You know, it's terrible and it's cheesy and it's all over the top. If you're going to do an ad, you sneak it in. You write somewhere a disclaimer that these are sponsored shows. But you just these bland, you know. I was working community radio 13 years ago. And fabulous, you know, that number one, that awesome question, the best, you're a journalist, you know. Tell me more about you and your project. How exciting is that to the world? I mean, the problem is, you know, what is interesting, exciting, a lot of these headlines, unless people have a certain amount of information, that's just scrolling text that makes no sense. It might be the most exciting thing in the world to you or I. We can see the potential for what that means. You know, I'm hoping that the likes of my Vlada being beautiful and providing quality information at the same time in a dynamic way can be part of that catalyst to bring in a mass of people. But to be honest, you know, what did it in 2017? What brought people talking? 100% of the day gains. BitConnect got people into the crypto space, you know? What happened? Maybe we had our big chance and we lost it. Maybe not. Search trends.
No, I think there's still hope. Yeah, it's just that I just believe that there is, you know, a point where we're going to reach, because we're still in that infancy stage, even now, where, like, it was like you were saying, you know, you can talk about something that's exciting to you, but it's not necessarily exciting to everybody else. You just have to jazz it up a bit. Because I've been to so many conferences and network meetups where they've just said ad nauseum for about 2 minutes saying what they do. It's just like, dude, you need to cut it down to about 5 seconds. Make it a 5-second snippet and just cut it off there. And that's sorely needed. And I think that's where both you and I come in. Well, hopefully.
I think so. You know, when I took over my first newspaper, this was 15, 16 years ago. And the man who was guiding me, he had been Ireland's youngest ever newspaper editor, the newspaper in Cork, in Republic of Ireland. And he goes to me, Nicholas, you know, exactly what you said. People are writing these big, long stories. You know, I've written autobiographies for people who were 35 years of age. They wanted 70,000 words of text, you know. But he goes to me like, Nicholas, sometimes it's just worth a power, you know. That's all that it's worth. People only have so much time, and we have to excite them in the time that we are lucky enough that they have given us the honor of their attention. And we need to give them more. There's no time to be lazy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But also, you know, one of the great things I learned from my journalism time in the last 15 years or so is that, you know, use 2 words when, you know, well, sorry, I'll reverse that. 10 words, don't use 10 words when 2's enough.
Yeah. I mean, I had to go on a new writer, and they were writing on decentralized finance. And he's like, you took the only piece of text that was understandable and you made it complex. You know, I should stop shouting at my workers. I have to get fired. Okay.
No. I know of editors like that, and I've working in newsrooms before and hearing that, but multiply that by about, well, rather amplify it by 10 times and a few expletives that I can't really do on YouTube. But there we have it.
Joseph, can I turn the tide here? What about you? What's going on with you?
What about what about me? Well, this is a little unusual. Well, right now I am in lockdown in London with recording these and just making videos. That's all I can really do, plus a little bit of writing on the side. That's me. It's raining outside. I was meant to do some shopping before the end of today because I'm fasting for Ramadan, but I don't think that's going to happen. But, you know, we can't all be lucky as you in Malta with the sun shining every day.
It's literally, I think anyone who decided to join the blockchain island dream, even if they don't have their licenses yet, which we're getting a lot of slack, we're getting hit for a lot at the moment that the licensing is not in place. Whilst there is a framework, but I prefer to be confined on a beach. I enjoy it. You know, it's been wonderful. I hate to say it, but it's been one of the best couple of months, best of months of my life. And I think, because a lot of people are saying that you've nothing else to do but work, and things are getting done. In the background, there's a lot of stuff getting done, even though everything appears shut down, but it's just been done behind closed doors.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been absolutely the same with me. I mean, I've managed to, get this YouTube thing going, and creating forward momentum. I've got heaps of stuff done and I'm barely getting started. It's almost as though I don't want this to end.
It's wonderful, and there's been prophecy about a time of human singularity for a long time. We've been from Big Bang to dot-com boom. We've been moving faster and faster towards it, and just this point, maybe it's about to hit now. That moment of critical mass when everyone is creating. It could be now.
Could well be. Could well be.
Best of times, worst of times.
Indeed, tale of two cities, and in this case, it's London and Valletta.
And this is, I'd much prefer to be here than that. I don't. Yeah, London's a bit hellish, mate.
I'm not even going to get started.
I want. There was a time when I would have chosen that life. When I should have lived in London for being Irish. It goes without saying that is one of the things on your trajectory, But I bypassed it, and you know what? I think I'm happy. I'll just be forever a visitor to London. I don't want to live there.
Well, for what it's worth, it's all of day, like in your destiny. Whatever's meant to happen is meant to happen.
Is it in your destiny to give Yusuf a like? Give it a shot, pal.
Make it happen. Yes, you're doing my job for me. Like and subscribe if you like this video. You want to see more of these. But I want to know more about the license in terms of Malta that you mentioned. I want you to elaborate further on that.
I will, and we're just producing a show at the moment with Malta TV and Bloxlive, where we go delve quite deep into that with Malta specific information. You're going to wait for another time. I got to release that I got to release that exclusive. I've got some new information.
Let's talk. Yeah. So to wrap this up, is there anything else you'd like to add that I might not have asked you?
Just that we're very delighted to have people like you working with us, helping us, and hopefully we can help you grow. If you have a website yourself, you can monetize Bloxlive TV by taking the iframe without doing anything else, and through programmatic advertising sales via our SpotX account, and get your little check-in or big check-in every month, whilst showing the best goddamn stream in the world to a mass audience.
Fantastic. And if people want to go and locate you or find you online, of course, what can they do?
Yes, send me an email, nicholas@bloxlive.tv, Nicholas Jackman on LinkedIn, and always maybe just stick it in your bar, because I do have the best content partners in the world, Bloxlive.tv.
Me included. Yeah. I don't know if we can make this public or not, but we have been talking for a while about doing something. It's just a matter of finding the right thing to do, as it were. So, I think we're getting there.
We will. I have a phone call coming in with Erhan from EAK. Looking at, we did the conference yesterday. Big news, maybe hopefully on the conference front, and also the show that the world's been waiting for. I'll tell you more soon, Erhan. I'll tell you more soon.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you once again, Mr. Nicholas Jackman from Bloxlive TV. Thank you so much. It's a great interview.
Thank you, dude. Bye-bye.